Hello again, this is Dolores Cannon with the Metaphysical Hour. And I'm in a different place tonight, which people should be surprised at because I travel so much. Tonight I am giving a class for this whole weekend, so I'm in a hotel in another city, so we had to forward it over here. So I don't have any guests tonight because I knew I would be traveling and I do have the class. And I usually give this weekend class for 3 days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And this is the class where I teach my technique, the hypnosis technique that I am perfected myself. This will be the 6th class that I've given this year. I believe I told you about the ones I just came back from when I did a class in North Carolina and I did a class in San Jose, California. But before that, I did a class in Moscow with a translator and then one in Amsterdam. So it's being held all over the world. And this class today is in Fayetteville, Arkansas, which is in my own backyard, which I like that better. Then I don't have to go away from home. At least I don't have to get on a plane again, which is one of the main things, because if you're traveling a lot, you do like to stay home once in a while. But when I started these classes, I began 5 years ago. I said you had to be a certified hypnotist to take the class with at least 1 year working with people, because I thought that would be the best thing to do. Then the people would understand the basics of hypnosis and be able to understand more what I do. But then I began to find out something different was happening, because all due respect to hypnotists, because I've been there, done that, a lot of the people who were taking the class who had had a strong background of many years in hypnosis were not really willing to change their technique, because this is the way they were taught and it was the way they were practicing. So I guess if it was working for them, that was fine. They should stay where they are. And other ones were attempting to combine my technique with theirs. But I always tell them when they take the class that forget everything you've been taught, and we're going to start with something totally new. But my technique is totally different. But then I began having people coming to me in all parts of the world when I was going to do a class, begging me. They said, please let me take the class. I want it so bad, because they had a passion for it and they wanted to learn how to do it, that this was something very important to them, and they thought this may be the thing they were supposed to be doing with the rest of their life. And so I said, well, you can take it, but I don't know if you'll understand it. I don't know if you'll be able to make it work. But I found out since then, these people are having the best results. They're having phenomenal results. Because even when I was in Dubai, this one man begged to be in the class, and I said, all right, we'll see. I don't have no guarantees if you'll understand it or not. And even during the class, at the beginning of the class, I always ask people to introduce themselves and tell me something about themselves. He said, well, I'm the baby of the class because I don't have any experience at all. But then after the class, within a month or so, he emailed me again and said he had already done 20 cases and the technique was working perfectly and phenomenally. And in one case, he had cured a woman of throat cancer. And I've had the same thing happen. People have called me just from the last class I did in North Carolina, and they're also having results. So it is working. But maybe it has something to do with starting out fresh with no background in hypnosis to confuse the issue. Nobody that says this is the way you have to do it, you cannot do it any other way, you must follow the rules and go just exactly the way you're taught. Maybe that's part of it. That you don't have that kind of a background. Maybe you're more open to trying new things and attempting to And that's what I'm trying to tell people how to do, and they don't have anything else to base it on, so they follow the instructions, and they are having very good results. So people have asked me about that. They said, you mean now you're just opening up to anybody? I said, well, those that have a passion, they want to help people. Some of them are healers, energy healers, Reiki workers, acupuncturists, people that are into healing and helping people. If this is your desire, then I'm allowing them into the class. And some of them have said, well, you might just have just anybody come in. And maybe they might take this information and this technique and try to use it in the wrong way. Try to use it for negative purposes. I don't think that will happen. I think if you tried to use it for the wrong purpose, for negative purposes, it just wouldn't work. It would backfire. And you would not be able to contact them, especially the ones I call them, the subconscious mind. I don't see how you could do it because they're not going to work with anyone who is using these methods in a negative way. So I'm not too worried about it. If they are taking the class for the wrong reasons, I don't think that they will understand it. I don't think they will be able to use it. If they try, I don't think it'll work. So I'm just trusting in them to know which is the right way. And I'm allowing people to take it if they really are serious about wanting to learn how to heal and how to help people with this method of hypnosis. So if there's anyone out there who is interested in these classes, you can call my 800 number or email me and ask about the next one and see if we can work you into the class. I keep the classes small, and I do that on purpose because I want there to be interaction among the people and feel free to ask me questions. So I deliberately keep the classes small, but no more than 20 anyway. So the 800 number is 1-800-935-0045. 1-800-935-0045. And my website, I guess you would want my email if you were going to email us about doing a session with me or these classes. The email is Cannon, Cannon, at msn.com. Cannon at msn.com. So far, I don't know what my schedule is going to be next year. We are just now beginning to put these things together, and we're already scheduling out-of-the-country trips for next year. So I'm not sure exactly where the classes will be. The only one so far is I know I'm going to have one in Montreal in Canada, but the dates and everything have not been firmed up yet. And I'll probably be having some more classes overseas. There will be some more in the States, but we just don't have the dates yet. But if you're interested, we can get you on the list and you'll be notified where I'm going to be. And hopefully it may even be in your own vicinity. So we'll just see. I just wanted to bring that up anyway. So this was the last class this year. And from here on, I'm going to do 2 conferences in October, and the rest of the year will just be private sessions. Then I'm going to have time to work on my new book, The Convoluted Universe, Book 3, which everybody is sending me emails begging me, when is that book going to come out? So the winter is usually when I have time to work on it because I don't travel and I can stay home and devote my time. Usually I get snowed in, so I have plenty of time to put the book together. So that's what I'll be focusing on this winter, after I do the 2 conferences in October. In October, I will speak in Pensacola, Florida, and also in Chicago. Those are the only 2 for the end of the year. The dates and everything are on my website, www.ozarkmountain.com. and that is OZARKMT.com. So if there's everything about the appearances that I'll be making in different places. Okay. I don't have a guest tonight, so I did say 2 weeks ago, when my guest canceled, I began talking about the Nostradamus material. And I did say at that time, the next time I don't have a guest, I will continue where I left off. Now I got to remember, where did I leave off? But I knew the Nostradamus material was so much there that I would not be able to do it in just one show. So I began on it, and I knew I would continue. I'm trying to remember, where did I stop? Okay. The Nostradamus material, it took 3 books to tell the entire story. So you can see there's a great deal of information. The books are called Conversations with Nostradamus, and it's 3 volumes, book 1, 2, and 3. And during those 3 books, we have been successful in interpreting all the 1,000 quatrains or prophecies of Nostradamus, which had never been done before. The first time ever in history, they've all been interpreted. All of the other books out there about Nostradamus, where they say they've been interpreted, they are mostly just telling you what the words mean, what the names of the countries, what he's referring to in the quatrain of the prophecy, but they don't tell you what the prophecy is or what it refers to. Many people don't understand these until after they have occurred. But we were able to do it all back in the 1980s, when our first book came out in 1989. They've been reprinted as much as 6 times now, and they're translated in languages all over the world. I'm very glad that they came out in 1989, the first book did, because the events began happening soon after that, the events that were predicted in the book. And everybody can say, well, you can say anything after the fact if I come up with these things after the book, after the book was out for a while, and they say, oh yeah, you could say anything then. But the book was in print long before the events began to happen. And there are even people now who say, look at the copyright date. The events are happening now. So these events were predicted as far back as 1989. So that's why I'm glad they were in print before that time, because it's been remarkable. The books have been out so long that in the 1990s, I wrote an addendum, and I put it in the back of Volume 1, and I put in there all of the events that had come true since the publishing of the book. And it's about a 50-page addendum. Every time I have gone into reprint, I've tried to add to that and talk about more events that have happened. It's impossible to keep this current because you don't reprint that often. But we've tried to put some of the updates on our website. But here again, with me traveling so much, I haven't been able to keep that up to date. But it is quite remarkable to know we are in the middle of all of the things that he predicted. And one of the reasons they are so accurate is because all the other people who are trying to interpret the quatrains, the prophecies, are doing it with their own mind, their own intellect, which I admire, because we're working here with puzzles that are 400 years